let's do our first ever test knit. Hi guys, my name is Esterah and I make content here on the internet about slow fashion, mostly crocheting and knitting. This week I'm doing something really exciting. I'm test knitting something for the first time ever. I have tested crochet patterns before, but this will be my first time ever testing a knit one. We are going to be working with sequin yarn, which I'm so excited about. And this is the Top 3000 pattern by Kiss Kiss Rhinestones and Stricken 3000. And just look at this freaking yarn, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love it so much. This is the Lana Grossa Cosmo yarn I'm going to be using. It's in shade 21. It is this gorgeous like turquoise blue color. I got this in the mail today and I literally proceeded to order it in 2 more colors. I have 3 more balls of this on the way. I just love sequin yarn. I love how the sequins on this are different colors. I think it's going to make for a really interesting top. And I'm going to hold it together with this kind of baby powdery blue. I hope these look okay together, but this is the Cesia Imperial yarn in the shade 1630. And this is a mix of wool, silk, and cashmere. And this is 100% cotton, which is amazing. And then the sequins are obviously not cotton, but I love that the base is cotton. Pattern recommends 4.5mm needles. Knowing me, I'll probably need to size down, but why don't we just like get right into it? There's not that much else to say. I'm gonna make a gauge swatch. Like this is just gonna be such a fun, quick, hopefully summer project. Yeah, welcome to the vlog and thanks for being here. Isn't the gauge swatch so pretty, guys? I'm really happy with it. It took me a few tries to get right just because I don't know, my gauge was off. First time knitting with sequin yarn. I'm ending up going 2mm more than she recommends in the pattern, but I just wanted to preface this by saying this is all a pattern test. If you don't know what that is, it's basically when a designer sends people their pattern for free before it's released to the public to catch any errors and just make sure the pattern's readable and it works as it should. So that's all I'm doing, and there will probably be some errors, and that's why I'm here, to make sure that if you guys decide to pay for this pattern, there won't be any errors in the future, but who knows if the needle size suggested will stay the same. But I am using a 6.5mm needle. I really wasn't able to hit gauge with any needle size, so I'm gonna actually cast on a size bigger because my gauge is too small. I did all the math, like I figured out exactly how wide one stitch is, so if I go a size bigger with my smaller gauge, I will be right on track for a size 2. And then since I knit tighter in the round than I do flat, it'll also make it a bit tighter and that'll be perfect. But yeah, I'm obsessed with this. I can't stop staring at this gauge swatch and looking at it sparkle, but I'm gonna go to the gym, so hopefully I can cast on before it's time to leave and then I can work on it there. You guys know I love a little habit stack moment. See you there. Hi guys, I just got back from the gym and I wanted to try this on to make sure I'm not like completely off base here. And I think it looks good. I think it's a bit big, but it sits, I think, nicely at my lower kind of waist area. No ruching or any puckering, so I think it's a good size. I think this is gonna work up really quickly. Honestly, this would be a really cute belt type of vibe too. Look at that. This is maybe, it's 7 rows so far. Cute. I think we're on track here then. Yeah, hopefully it's not too big. Hey guys, I'm about to set sail and go see my local production of SpongeBob. Yeah, that is what we are doing here in Wisconsin. But I wanted to show you this because I'll probably bring it and work a bit more on it. This is our progress. I just did my first decrease. So this is looking at like how the waist is gonna fit. Yeah, I think it's a teeny bit big, but I guess it's better than it being too small. As a reminder, my gauge is too small, but I knit a size bigger. Yeah, it's probably too big. It's not supposed to be skin tight, so I feel like a little bit of room is fine. But yeah, that's what it looks like. I think it's really cute. I just hope it's not like crazy oversized. There we go. Hi there. It is April 28th, a Tuesday, and I'm already making really good progress on this top. Hold on, I just gotta backtrack some stitches. I got distracted. Okay, so basically I am really enjoying working on this pattern. I've had to make some adjustments because I was so far from gauge. Something about my knitting gauge, I swear. And I think part of that probably isn't just me. It's like everyone is using different size sequin yarn, and like my sequins are really big, so it's gonna be harder to get a smaller gauge with really big. No, it's harder to size up. I don't even know. It's just, it was wrong. I just did some calculations for my row gauge. So my stitch count gauge is too small, which is why I sized up. My row count gauge was too big, so I had too many rows in the gauge watch. So what I'm doing now is I'm just cutting the number of rows in between each decrease to get the right length, and that's really easy to do with this pattern. It's a very straightforward pattern, so it's easy to customize to your gauge. I will say I'm really enjoying the testing process for this. It's such a quick project, which I think was a good choice for something to test, because sometimes when the testing period's too long, it can just be a little stressful because you are testing something that's completely a new design, and if you mess up, it's like, oh gosh, you have a time limit essentially, and I just hate the pressure of that. So it's been fun to do something quick and also just be able to make adjustments as I go. Okay, and also doing a project on bigger needles is making the gauge swatch and the learning process a lot more fun, because I hate when you have to gauge swatch on really small needles and then it just takes forever to figure out where you're going and what everything is looking like. I just have so much information here so quickly, and that's really satisfying. I've also started writing down all my updates on a notebook. I just feel like the handwriting process of keeping up to date with my patterns has been great. Sometimes I'll do it on Milanote, sometimes I'll just do it on the Notes app. I always annotate the pattern on my computer. The physical writing process just makes my thoughts a lot clearer. So here's what we're gonna do now. I'm almost to the point of the pattern where I'm gonna do this single strand of mohair or of wool. And I just worked my second round of decreases, which means it's time for another try on to make sure this is fitting okay. I might need to add more decreases, I don't know. I'll see you guys in a sec with a try on update post 2 decreases. Okay guys, here's what we're working with. This is after a second decrease and it's fitting like this. It's a little teeny bit like ruched in the back, so that's why I'm worried about it being too big. But I overall, like with this much give, maybe I add an extra decrease in just to give it a teeny bit more waist shaping. Still not that good at knowing how this is gonna fit, to be honest. But I think it's gonna be fine. I'm not super worried. I think this is so cute. Oh my gosh. I can't stop looking at the sparkles. Okay, so now I'm just gonna do a few more rows and then hit my last decrease. She's so cute. Also, I started this weekend and I'm not even a fast knitter and it's only Tuesday and this is how much progress I have. Love it. Okay, I've arrived at the point in the pattern where it's time for that solid line of fluffy mohair. I am very tempted to use a different color of mohair. So the light blue one is the one I've been carrying through, and then this dark blue is what I used to make the Kaya hat. It is a lot thicker than the light blue, but I think it's fine. It's such a small section, and I'm going to be cutting the rows anyway to match my gauge. I just feel like this at the top of the top is going to look better against my skin tone than this. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go for this dark one. I just think it looks better with my skin than this one does. Yeah, we're going to try it. If it sucks, then I'll just undo it. Okay, I just did a little sample of both, and I do think this dark blue is going to be a bit too thick. It is almost double the thickness with that extra fluff, so I'm going to stick to the light blue. It's still going to be very cute. Hey guys, it's Friday and I am so happy. We're so up right now. I am like making really good progress on this top. I'm gonna work on it probably all evening. I really want to watch the drama with Zendaya, but I also want to watch Vanilla Mace play Tomodachi Life. That's been my like hyperfixation lately. So I think I'm gonna stay in all night and just do that. I can't wait. It's gonna be so nice. Before I get started diving back into the top, I want to show you what it looks like because I just finished the second round of the like fluffy mohair mesh part. So let me show you what it looks like, and then we're just gonna hang out and knit together. This is where we're at with our lovely top 3000. Basically all I need to do is this portion and we're done. Hope I have enough yarn left. This is what it's looking like right now. Only really worried about running out of this, especially for the I-cord part, because it just uses that yarn, but I'm really happy with the fit. I think it is a teeny bit long. I wasn't really paying that much attention to my row gauge as I was knitting. I made it longer kind of by accident, but I did end up cutting some from the pattern just to match my gauge. So yeah, if you are remaking this, I would just, it's really easy to modify based on whatever your gauge is. Just get a fabric kind of texture that you like, and then really closely keep an eye on your gauge to make sure it fits with the dimensions for the pattern. But I think these little strands of mohair look so cute, those sections, and I think it'll look even better when it's not against like a white tank and it's just against my skin. It'll have more contrast. But oh, aquamarine girl summer. It's so sparkly. I love it. Okay, let's keep going. Hi guys, I am on my way to meet my little cousin. We are going to craft together. She's the one I taught how to crochet, and she's been sticking with it. It's really fun to have a family member that I can craft with. I also really want to get some pictures of me and my knits and just like knitting, because I have no photos of myself, only videos. And I feel like it would be nice to just have some pictures. And my eyeliner is way too long. So yeah, I'm gonna put her to work a little bit. I think this is suitable for photos. Every time I put on this top, because this neckline is so tight, I have to touch up my makeup. I can't wear bronzer because it's just so tight and it'll get all over this. I'm planning on remaking this in a new color, and I'm definitely gonna use bigger needles for the neck. See you guys at the cafe. Hi guys, it's been a few days and I'm nearly finished with this top. I'm currently working on the I-cord and I'm definitely playing yarn chicken here. I truly don't think I'm gonna have enough. This is how much yarn I have left, and I've done one I-cord. I need to attach this and then do a second I-cord, and I'm holding it double. Wish me luck, but you might catch me at the yarn store tomorrow. So let's attach, and before I attach it, I wanted to show you what it looks like, try it on without the I-cord. So let's do that first. I still think it's a bit long. It looks longer now because I'm like a little slanted, because I need to obviously pull this back part up with the straps, so it will end up sitting more like this. It's definitely big and a little oversized, but I think it's still quite cute despite that. I'm really curious to know how I'm going to style this, because I honestly have no idea. This is probably as close of a color match as I'm gonna get. But this is the Barocco Aerial. It's a mohair silk bun, so it's different from this, but I mean, who cares? It was either that or wait another 2 weeks to get another ball of Cessia Imperial. Hi guys, I made it back from the yarn store. I'm ready to finish this top tonight. I have so many other whips I want to work on. I feel like this has taken a long time, even though it really hasn't. So as I mentioned, I picked up this. It was $16. I honestly am kind of disappointed in myself. I feel like it's too big. I really thought that I was gonna have the gauge nailed down, because as you know, I've been just struggling with that. And I think for me, it's these fitted garments. They really get me, because like, as I said, I made this a size bigger because based on the math of my gauge, it would have equaled the lower size. And I just feel like I should have gone with my original size and had a smaller, or had a, yeah, smaller gauge, and then it would have fit more fitted. And I really wanted this to be kind of fitted. So I've honestly been even considering like frogging this whole thing after the testing period and redoing it in a smaller size. But I just want to finish it and try it on and like see what it looks like. I haven't tried it on since I added this I-cord, so I'm gonna do that now and then hopefully knock this out tonight. It's like 8:30. I don't think that'll take me that long. Okay, here's what it's looking like so far. Unfortunately, this is actually supposed to be the end of the front panel, but obviously that's gonna give it more of a cowl neck. So I think I'm gonna have to go past that and just move it here. I'm pleasantly surprised with how it's fitting. It's turning out to be a bit more fitted than I expected, so that's good. I still could have gone with it a bit more fitted. I really do like tops with a lot of negative ease, so maybe that's just something to keep in mind as I go forward in my knitting journey, that even if a pattern is my size, I might want to size it down because I do prefer a bit more negative ease. We'll check back in when it's time to try it on, but other than that, let's get to work and hopefully crank this out. I don't even know if I fully explained why I needed to go yarn shopping in person and why I couldn't have just ordered more yarn online. Even if I ordered it again right when I got my yarn, it would still be too late for the pattern pattern test. So I just figured I had to go in person. The yarn stores here in Wisconsin are just really far apart. I mean, it's Wisconsin, so how many like stores in a small radius do you need that sell Malabrigo Rios, you know? So I had to drive like 35 minutes. And then even when you get there, it's like you don't know what they're gonna have. They only had one lace weight mohair. And I was like, they better have the color I need. Sorry, there's like a sequin stuck to my computer and I'm trying to get it off. I've only had like maybe 5 of these sequins actually shed. They're pretty sturdy. Yeah, I would love to yarn shop more in person. It's just really nice to see the colors. And also I was like, if I need to color match this perfectly, I can't just order online. So I had to go in person. I find that it's often so much more expensive than ordering from my favorite brands on Linda Hobby's website. Some of the yarns at the yarn store are $30 to $40 for 25 grams of lace weight mohair. And while they're gorgeous and stunning and probably colors I wouldn't be able to find online, I'm like not at a point where I can spend $30 on one skein of yarn. I can't be talking when I'm doing this I-cord. It's actually kind of involved. Once I move back to New York, I'm sure I'm gonna do more in-person yarn shopping. It is really nice just to be able to see all of your options in front of you and hold the colors together and feel things. And yes, I have an I-cord machine from Kato, which I would have loved to use because the I-cord, it doesn't take as long as I thought. This is my first time knitting an I-cord, but it's just quite tedious and you do kind of have to pay attention to what you're doing. But I really like the look of this I-cord border along the knitting. I think that's really fun and unique. I have my straps kind of stitch markered on there, and now it's time to sew those in. Cause I'm no ordinary girl. I'm from the deep blue underworld. Land or sea, I got the power if I just believe. That's how this top has me feeling right now. Yep, a little commotion for the sequins. In my usual fashion, it took me about 3 to 4 business days just to attach these straps. At least we did it. This is so gorgeous. I'm gonna put the exact yarn usage I used here. I-cords, I ended up basically cutting off a good 1.5 to 2 inches. I didn't like cut them off. I sewed them on way shorter than the full length that the designer recommended. And then I just undid the excess I-cord and then weaved in the end. So I didn't make my I-cords as long as she did, or I didn't use as much of an I-cord as she did. And I also knew that these are gonna stretch, so I kind of made it a little bit tighter than I thought I would need. I don't have any tips for working with sequin yarn. It's annoying to frog is the only thing, honestly. This is not scratchy at all. I don't even notice the sequins. I haven't even blocked this. I don't even want to block it because I don't want anything to change. But what is wonky about this is that, okay, this is the bust shaping right here. You can see this little V or U of increases. Other bust shaping parts over here, when it should be here. I don't really care. It looks fine. Just like don't look too closely, you know? I styled this with the long maxi skirt and some fun kind of like iridescent jewelry, little starfish necklace to give a little ocean vibe. Also, when I was filming TikToks, the song that automatically populated was Midnight Sun by Zara Larsson, and I'm like, you get the vision, TikTok, you get the vision. That is my first ever test knit. I don't know if I will test knit again, to be honest, because it's kind of stressful. I feel like I'm broken in terms of gauge because I really thought that I was gonna have a perfect fit here with all my freaking math, but everything was wrong still, and my placement is off on the bust shaping too, so I still have a lot to learn on my knitting journey. I've obviously communicated all of my issues with the pattern designer, so by the time the pattern comes out, any like issues with gauge and stuff should all be addressed. It's the point of pattern testing. But I'd say this was a successful test, and the pattern is so easy to follow, like genuinely so easy. Oh, and it is bigger bust friendly because there's a good option for bust shaping. You're gonna see this like probably all over my Instagram all summer, just styled in different ways. It's so fun and glittery. I want to make some for my friends so we can match and like go out together. I think that would be so fun. Yeah, that is it for this video. I hope this wasn't too boring. I know I was kind of just like at home the whole time, but that's honestly the reality of my whole month. It's just gonna be me working on stuff at home. And if you have any questions on what I did, I'm happy to try to answer them in the comments. However, most of this was just like me trying to follow gauge and try this on to fit my own personal body and preferences. What I did with my unique gauge and my unique body measurements, copy pasting exactly what I did is not going to give you a result that necessarily works for you unless you are my secret twin and we have the exact same proportions. Be open to make adjustments as you go. I feel like that's one thing I've learned a lot, especially like this past week because I've been knitting so much, is letting go of perfection and just making adjustments as you go. I think that that's very important to become a self-sufficient knitter as well, as just being able to do your math and figure out your gauge and just like make adjustments. And why was the gauge so off in the first place? I think because everyone was using different sequin sizes, and then like that just kind of throws off your gauge when the sequins are bigger. Sometimes smaller needles are going to work for people who use smaller sequins. Bigger needles are going to work better for people who are using bigger sequins. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye!